Hello again, everyone. I'm Philippe Kahn, and this is your daily driver for Friday, January 30th, 2009. Happy Friday. We're going to start with a couple of shout-outs and then move on to some big news for BMW. We don't normally get this much news on a Friday, so I'll try to make it quick. First of all, to Dr. Kwok. Thank you for the business, doctor. I hope you enjoyed that 335i in good health. And to Dr. Vishal, thank you for referring Dr. Kwok to me. And doctors, just want to extend an invitation to all of your colleagues over at Harbor UCLA Medical Center. I know there's a lot of folks over there who could use a BMW. So if any or all of your friends, family, relatives, co-workers need anything at all in the world of BMW, I would appreciate the referral. Thank you again, doctors. All right, folks, now to the big news. I've got a trio of announcements from BMW. We'll go from mild to wild, and I'm going to start right now with the car we're not likely to see in North America, and that is the 730LD. L as in long wheelbase, D as in diesel. It made its debut in the UK today, and it is the 7 Series that you are going to grow to know and love once it arrives here in March, complete with rear massaging seats, heated and ventilated, of course. But the big deal there, folks, is the diesel, which has been offered in Europe for time immemorial, but unfortunately looks at this point is not going to make it to the US, at least for the 7 Series, and I think that's a bad move, folks, and I'll be quite frank with that. The diesel, the 3-liter diesel that we have currently in the 335D can achieve 36 miles to the gallon in that car. In a 7 Series, it should be able to achieve mid-20s, and in an environment where the government is beginning to mandate exactly how efficient automobiles should be, I think the 730D makes a lot of sense, and I think it's a great interim step while we figure out what the next step is after we're done with the internal combustion engine. So the 730LD in the UK, unfortunately not in the US yet. What is coming to the US eventually is the Mini crossover. That car, and I'm giving you a quote right now from the Mini brand management head, Wolfgang Armbrecht. He says, quote, "After going over the large amount of feedback from experts and the public, we approved the crossover for production just 4 weeks after it debuted at the Paris show," end quote. He's talking about the 2008 Paris show where the Mini crossover first debuted. This is the biggest Mini ever. How's that for an oxymoron? It's allegedly going to be based on the same backbone as the X1 from BMW, which also debuted in Paris last year. And it's basically a small SUV that's going to carry the Mini brand. There are some images on Google if you want to take a look at it, but it's a Crossman. What can I tell you? It's a big, by Mini standards, SUV, and it's going to be the biggest Mini ever, and hopefully will be here around the 2010 time frame. Finally, the big news I want to share with you today, folks, is the 5 Series Progressive Activity Sedan. Word is it was just greenlit by BMW today, or this week I should say, and it's going to make its debut in Munich February 11th and 12th, a full month before the Geneva Auto Show, which means, to me anyway, that BMW definitely wants the press to have their attention completely focused on this 5 Series Progressive Activity Sedan, as they call it, before it gets shoved in with the mix with everything else that's being released at Geneva. What is a progressive activity sedan? Well, you may have heard it referred to in the past as the V5, the V Series, the 5 Series GT, or the 5 Series Fastback. There have been some images of camouflage vehicles being caught testing in Germany. Let me try to describe it as best I can, and I'd be the first one to admit I've never seen what it's actually supposed to be, and I'm a little bit confused by what they're trying to achieve here, but here's the best we can describe. Take the next generation 7 Series. Make it a little taller, and then give it a fastback, throw in a bunch of X6 styling cues, and then shrink it just a little bit so it fits in between the 5 and the 7, and you get the Progressive Activity Sedan. I'm a little unclear on what this car is going to be or what it's going to look like as well, folks, but basically it's supposed to have an X6 type greenhouse based on the CS concept, their latest crossover. And just a quick word on what makes a car like this possible. You heard me refer to the automotive backbone that the X1 and the Crossman are going to share. Well, the backbone is the new way that cars are built. They don't talk about platforms anymore. It's called the backbone. And what it is the firewall, the floor, and the suspension pickup points. And within that architecture, you can stretch and compress the wheelbase to a much greater degree than you can in an automotive platform. Now, this backbone is what allows the 5 Series, next generation 6 Series, the next generation 7 Series, and this progressive activity sedan to be built basically using the same parts. That same platform, by the way, is also going to be used for the next generation small Rolls-Royce sedan, so it gives you an idea of how flexible that design is and how the economies of scale really can get going, because you can make so many cars off of a limited number of parts. That's what makes the progressive activity sedan possible to make economically and efficiently for BMW. The question is, will that car find its market? Will it create a market? And we're not going to answer that question today, folks. You'll have a chance to answer that question when the car hits market, or perhaps as soon as it gets released February 11th and 12th in Munich. But for now, that is your Daily Driver. I'm Philippe Kahn. Thanks for joining us. We shall see you tomorrow.